David Muir, ABC's World News Tonight, America's most watched newscast. Now streaming same day with all the breaking news of the day on Disney Plus. Most watched, most trusted. Now on Disney Plus every night.
Breaking news tonight, the terrifying images from Dallas after a massive blast at an apartment complex. Reports of fatalities, some still unaccounted for. Fire officials responding to a reported gas leak, arriving just minutes later to a raging inferno. Chilling new details just coming in. Negotiators for the U.S. and Iran say they've reached a tentative deal, extending the fragile ceasefire, a gradual opening of the Strait of Hormuz. But what about Iran's nuclear program and the final approval still needed from President Trump? The Ebola outbreak spreading rapidly, with reported cases now climbing above 1,000. The U.S. now rushing a team of health officials to Kenya to set up a makeshift hospital for Americans exposed to the virus. The ex-CIA official accused of stashing more than $40 million in gold at his home and lying about his military and academic credentials. Also tonight, the deadly chemical disaster, the worst ever in Washington state. Crews working to recover the missing and prevent toxic chemicals from contaminating the water supply. The newly released body camera video showing a woman with no right hand ticketed for using a phone with her right hand while driving. The case dismissed, now going viral. Could President Trump's face be featured on a $250 bill? What the U.S. Treasury Department is saying tonight. Why the Justice Department is launching a criminal investigation into one of President Trump's accusers, E. Carroll. Tragedy during a school rafting trip in the Poconos. Officials say a 12-year-old New York boy died when a raft carrying 5 people overturned. The world's #1 ranked tennis player, Jannik Sinner, makes a stunning early exit at the French Open. What he's now saying was behind it. And America Strong tonight, legacy, tradition, and surprises. It's graduation season.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, I'm Wade Johnson. David is on assignment traveling the country for America's 250th celebration. But we begin tonight with breaking news. A deadly gas explosion destroying an apartment complex in Dallas. The chilling images coming in. Residents say it sounded like a bomb went off. We're now getting reports of fatalities and injuries and the search efforts underway for the missing. Emergency crews responding to a call regarding a gas leak that soon grew into a raging inferno. Plumes of black smoke and flames visible for miles. What we've just learned. ABC's Trevor Ault leads us off.
Tonight, a search for victims after an explosion turned a downtown Dallas apartment building into a towering inferno.
There was just an explosion, literally right by my apartment. Oh my God.
Fire officials say they were responding to a report of a gas leak, and by the time they arrived 2 minutes later, the fire had engulfed the building.
We have gone from rescue mode to recovery mode. We are still actively in recovery mode, and we may be in this mode for the next 2 to 4 hours.
Windows blown out, debris seen blanketing a nearby roof and covering the street.
Everything it wasn't blown to pieces is on fire there. And the concern we have this afternoon with school being out is whether anybody else was inside.
Resident Alta DeBose in shock.
We lived there. We lost our pets. We lost everything we owned. I had 3 rescue cats, Marley, Hoy, and York, and we had 2 dogs.
Nearly 100 firefighters on the scene, flooding the building.
That is 2 stories worth of building, and it looks like it has just flattened down there.
The blast shaking the entire neighborhood.
It felt like the commotion was everywhere because the whole apartment was shaking. I feel very blessed that me and my sister were able to make it out.
And with this is still an active scene, but fire officials say they are investigating the cause of this explosion, including the possibility a contractor hit a gas line. But again, they have confirmed there are fatalities.
All right, just an awful scene. Trevor Ault, we appreciate it. Now tonight, the U.S. and Iran appear to be closing in on a tentative agreement to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. It still needs President Trump's approval, but the deal would lead to an extension of the ceasefire and open the door for more critical talks on Iran's nuclear program. ABC's chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce has new reporting tonight.
Just hours after the U.S. and Iran traded strikes, American and Iranian negotiators tonight believe they're closing in on an agreement to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. But it still needs President Trump to sign off.
I negotiate, they negotiate. They're very good negotiators. They're crafty. But in the end, we have all the cards.
According to U.S. officials, the president has been briefed on a draft agreement that would extend the current fragile ceasefire and see the strait reopen over the course of 60 days. Iran loosening its grip on the critical waterway as the U.S. pulls back its naval blockade on Iranian ports, buying time to start negotiating an end to the war. But this tentative agreement says nothing of what happens to Iran's nuclear program, the central issue in this war, and it follows weeks of whiplash and discussions of deals that never came to be. Sources say the U.S. has committed to discussing sanctions relief for Iran during the negotiation period, something the president had said was not up for discussion. But today, the Treasury Secretary not ruling it out. Just to be clear, is sanctions relief for Iran on the table?
It is a multifaceted agreement, and nothing is going to be on the table until we see the Strait of Hormuz open and the Iranians agree that they have to turn over the highly enriched uranium and that they can't have a nuclear program.
Today, the president asked in an interview if there's a red line Iran could cross that would cause the U.S. to fully restart this war.
Well, a deal that wasn't going to be good for us is the line, ultimately, because, I'm playing it out and we're going to see, and that's what I do.
With the bottom line here, even if the two sides agree to this short-term deal to reopen the strait, the tough nuclear negotiations are still to come. The White House tonight stressing what comes next depends on President Trump and what he decides to do. All
right, Mary Bruce, thank you for that. Next tonight, reported cases of Ebola now surging above 1,000 in Central Africa. A team of U.S. health officials now racing to Kenya to set up a treatment facility for Americans exposed to the virus. Here's ABC's Faith Abube.
Tonight, the Trump administration deploying a medical team of at least 30, including doctors and nurses, to Kenya to staff a temporary quarantine site for Americans abroad exposed to the Ebola virus. A senior administration official saying it's much better to transport the Americans to, quote, a facility that takes a shorter transport time as opposed to flying them back all the way to the United States. But tonight, that plan facing fierce criticism from some medical experts. Dr. Ashish Jha calling it, quote, a huge strategic mistake.
American doctors, American nurses are a major force in bringing these things to a close. Now you're telling them, by the way, if you get exposed, you can't come home.
This as the deadly Ebola outbreak rages in parts of Central Africa. In less than 2 weeks, reported infections now topping 1,000 cases. New video showing medical supplies arriving in eastern Congo. At least 11 African nations bordering the DRC are currently at high risk. And with the World Cup now just 2 weeks away, today the U.S., Canada, and Mexico announcing a joint effort to screen and monitor travelers coming from Ebola-affected countries.
And Whit, so far, the only American who has tested positive for that Ebola virus is that medical missionary who was flown to Berlin last week for medical treatment. And as for that 50-bed American quarantine facility in Kenya, officials say it should be up and running by tomorrow. Whit.
Okay, Faith Abube for us tonight. Turning to the former CIA officer accused of fraud, prosecutors say he had hundreds of gold bars worth more than $40 million stashed in his home. David Rush is also accused of lying about his military and academic credentials for nearly 2 decades. Here's ABC's Stephanie Ramos.
Tonight, tough questions for the CIA after a former officer with top secret security clearance was accused of stashing $40 million in gold bars in his house and lying about his credentials for nearly 2 decades. The FBI seizing 300 gold bars along with $2 million in cash and 35 luxury watches from the Virginia home of David Rush. Prosecutors say he had requested the gold for work-related expenses, but they did not identify the work project he allegedly claimed would require so much currency.
The agency has always used what we call alternative funding sources. Finding out that someone was using gold bars to actually make payments, which obfuscates the CIA's role in it, is not the disturbing part. The disturbing part is that he was able to get away with it.
An affidavit alleges Rush lied about his background since joining the CIA around 2009, claiming he had a degree from Clemson University, a master's from Rensselaer Polytechnic, and had been a Navy pilot. But an investigation found no record he attended either school or had been a pilot.
The whole idea that somebody could make up where they went to college, pretend to have a pilot's license, but they don't have a pilot's license. I mean, those are just such obvious glaring holes.
Prosecutors say Rush served in the Navy until 2015, but then falsely claimed he was in the Navy Reserve and stole $77,000 in military pay he was not entitled to.
Rush was arrested after the CIA referred the case to the FBI for investigation. He's been charged with the theft of public money, and he has not yet entered a plea. Whit.
Stephanie Ramos, our thanks to you tonight. Now to the deadly chemical disaster, the worst ever in Washington state. Crews working to recover the missing are also trying to keep the toxic chemicals from contaminating the water supply. ABC's Melissa Don is back on the scene tonight.
Tonight, crews are working to keep toxic chemicals out of the water supply. 11 presumed dead at the Nippon Dynawave paper mill in Longview, Washington. That circular tank held 900,000 gallons of toxic fluid, and more than half of it spilled out when it blew up Tuesday during a shift change. New images from inside the plant show what the corrosive chemicals in the contamination zone did to a firefighter's heavy rubber boots. Teams are using water to dilute the chemicals to a safe pH level and then flushing that water through a system of ditches and into the Columbia River.
Just a quarter mile away from the plant right here, we do see federal officials testing waterways just like this.
Yesterday, officials said they found 12 dead fish in the river, but insist there's no danger to the public. As recovery efforts continue, we're learning more about 52-year-old Gilbert Bernal, an electrician at the plant, from his youngest brother, Juan.
He was a great man. Never got angry, never seen him angry. He was the best brother I ever had.
Moments ago, authorities gave a briefing and say that the bodies of 6 of the 9 workers have been recovered from the site.
Melissa Don with those breaking details. Thank you. Next tonight, a strange traffic stop in Florida that's gone viral. A woman pulled over for allegedly driving while using a phone in her right hand. Problem is, she doesn't have a right hand. 3 months later, the charges have been dismissed. Here's ABC's Victor Oquendo.
Tonight, this Florida traffic stop going viral. A Palm Beach sheriff's deputy seen pulling over a woman for holding a phone in her right hand while driving.
You drove past me holding the phone with your right hand, manipulating that phone.
But stunningly, driver Katie Thomas holds up her right arm, revealing she doesn't have her right hand.
So obviously
not. So you want to just call this a day? Or?
I don't want to call it a day. You had a hand manipulated.
You just said my right hand.
Well, I thought I saw you with your right hand. Did you or not have your phone on your hand?
I did not.
You did not have your phone in your hand?
I did not.
Hand to God, you didn't have your phone in your hand.
Hand to God.
The incident happening in February. Despite her denials,
so you're going to receive a citation?
Katie is still given a $116 traffic ticket for texting while driving. But this week, the case was dismissed.
So we had court this morning and dismissed. I cannot make up the reason behind why it was dismissed. It says lack of evidence.
The Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office says law enforcement officers are required to make decisions based on observations in real time, and motorists have the right to contest citations. Whit.
Okay, Victor Oquendo, thank you. ABC News has learned the U.S. Treasury is working to design a $250 bill featuring President Trump's face and signature. It would mark the first time a living person appeared on U.S. currency in more than 150 years. A bill sponsored by South Carolina Congressman Joe Wilson would require Treasury to print the note, but so far it remains stalled in Congress. Now to the Department of Justice, launching a criminal probe into E. Jean Carroll, the writer who successfully sued President Trump for sexual abuse and defamation. Let's bring in ABC's chief investigative correspondent, Aaron Katursky. And Aaron, what can you tell us about this investigation?
It's the latest in President Trump's retribution campaign, Whit, turning the power of the Justice Department on perceived enemies like James Comey, Letitia James, Jack Smith, now E. Jean Carroll, the writer who sued Trump for sexual abuse and defamation and won nearly $90 million in civil judgments. Sources told ABC News federal prosecutors are investigating whether Carroll committed perjury when she testified there was no outside funding for her lawsuits. Billionaire Reid Hoffman did pay some of her legal fees, though a federal appeals court determined there was no evidence Carroll was personally involved in securing the funding. It would be unusual for the Justice Department to prosecute a standalone charge of perjury, but with President Trump's retribution campaign itself is unprecedented.
Aaron Katersky tonight, thank you. Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett becoming the latest high-profile target of a swatting incident. Authorities say a false emergency call sent police rushing to her home. It's just the latest in a growing wave of hoax threats targeting public officials. The incident is now under investigation. When we come back, the news just coming in, the urgent search for a triple murder suspect, plus tragedy on the river after a student's rafting trip takes a devastating turn. New details tonight on the investigation into the mysterious disappearance of a Michigan woman in the Bahamas. A stunning upset at the French Open. The world's #1 men's tennis player sent packing in the second round. So what happened? And it's graduation season, the surprise reunions, and powerful family moments. Next tonight, the urgent manhunt underway for a triple murder suspect in Hawaii. Authorities are searching for a 36-year-old man described as the only suspect in the homicides of 3 elderly men. They were each found dead this week in separate homes. Police say he is considered armed and extremely dangerous. Tragedy during a school rafting trip in the Poconos. Officials say 12-year-old Cesar Gunke of Sag Harbor drowned when a raft carrying 5 people overturned.
Troopers are stating the male is underneath the raft that they found behind the Bowman Water Authority. They can see him under the raft.
The 4 others were rescued. The Sag Harbor superintendent saying Cesar was a cherished member of their school family. Tonight, new questions in the mysterious disappearance of Lynette Hooker, the 55-year-old Michigan woman who's been lost at sea for nearly 2 months. Investigators say GPS data does not match the story her husband told investigators. The U.S. Coast Guard will now send divers to new areas in the Bahamas in a renewed search. Her husband, Brian Hooker, was arrested but later released without charges. When we come back, what's behind the stunning upset at the French Open? The world's #1 tennis player out, and the death of a hockey legend. To the index now, a stunning upset at the French Open. World #1 Yannick Sinner crumbling in the Paris heat, losing in the second round to 56th ranked Juan Manuel Cerundolo. The collapse raising new questions about Sinner's struggles in extreme heat, but tonight Sinner is saying he woke up not feeling well before the match. Hockey fans are mourning the loss of 4-time Stanley Cup winner Claude Lemieux. His body discovered by his adult son this morning at the family's furniture store in Florida. He was 60 years old. Lemieux played on 5 American teams, including the New Jersey Devils and Colorado Avalanche. The cause of death not yet released. Still ahead, graduation season delivering memories far beyond the diploma. Finally tonight, from emotional reunions to unexpected surprises, a salute to the graduates.
It's graduation season across the country, each ceremony with its own special moments. At Temple University School of Medicine in Philadelphia, the tears and emotion of this mother and daughter coming full circle.
27 years ago, I was on that stage getting my diploma, and this time it's my daughter walking on the same stage.
It's not just a milestone in your life, it's a very special moment in mine.
Dr. Phyllis Parkansky, graduating from the same medical school as her mother Inessa did back in 1999, when Phyllis was just 6 months old.
I looked up to my mom my whole life. She paved the way for me.
The dream came true.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you, Mommy.
For one high school senior in Ville Platte, Louisiana, graduation day came with a big surprise.
Up next, Miss Jocelyn Ordway. Miss Jocelyn is going to be receiving her high school diploma from her father, Staff Sergeant Donovan Ordway.
17-year-old Jocelyn Arduin's father coming home early after being deployed in Kosovo for more than a year. Jocelyn losing her shoes in the excitement.
I was just shocked. I was happy.
We actually had a solid 3 months of planning this whole thing.
Jocelyn calling it the best gift ever. And at Texas Tech University in Lubbock, Sadie, the service dog, walking across the stage with her owner, Michaela Muse. The school's president leaning down to present Sadie with her own honorary dog diploma, a rawhide bone tied with a red ribbon.
Love the graduation gown, too. Congratulations to all the graduates out there across the country. I'm Wade Johnson in New York. Have a great night.
David Muir, the most trusted, most watched newscast in America. And now, World News Tonight has won the Emmy for Best Live News Program for the 4th year in a row.